Yeah, yeah, I really liked that movie. I saw the original. Like Liz and I started to watch the original because we watched the remake first. We
Yeah.
are like, we should check out the original, and we did, and we were like, this kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So I don't think we finished it.
just Bridges looking up at the tree, like, you better check on that man. I'm too old and too fat.
Yeah,
Like,
well, there's just so much about his characterization of it that, like, I don't know, he's more likable for some reason. I don't
part
know if it's just because it's Bridges or what,
I
but
think it's just Bridges. He's just like, oh my god, the dude's a cowboy. That's adorable.
seriously, I just want to give him a hug. I don't care that he's an asshole. I just kind of want to give that man a hug.
Yeah. Give that man a fucking beer and tell him to relax.
Is that Cheney? I could not identify him by the soles of his feet. Well, you're gonna have to climb up there. I'm too old and too fat. She said, Rooster, the laws of logic do not abide in you. I said, well, sayonara, sweetheart. And
I said the dude abides.
exactly. Yeah, you hear him say abide in True Grit, and you're like, oh my god, he said abides. Oh my god. Totally mark out. It's so funny. It's like when a wrestler adopts an old gimmick, you're just like, ah!
Yeah, it's like the Royal Rumble. You see like the legend come back. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, Tatanka! Oh my god!
I haven't seen you in forever.
I thought you died.
Dun 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 dun. I used to love Bobby the Brain Heenan when he used to comment on Tatanka.
I,
He used
I
to do like the stuttering thing, like Tatanka.
I never remembered Bobby the Brain Heenan doing like commentary and whatnot. Like
Oh man, he
it's
was
like
genius.
I think when I was a kid and whatnot, I would watch and there's Lex Luger or the Mr. Narcissist, whatever the fuck he wanted to call himself.
Yeah.
Fucking
Suck.
the Hulk Hogan's, the Macho Man Randy Savage, the King Kong Bundy, all those guys.
Yeah.
But I never really paid attention to the commentary until I got back into wrestling at about like late '96.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was during the I'm trying to remember. It was like Bret Hart, Steve Austin when they first kind of started going at each other. I'm like, oh shit, I remember Bret Hart. I'm gonna check this out. And then fucking Jim Ross, easily greatest commentator of all time.
I don't know, man. I really like Heenan personally. Heenan and Monsoon are, in my opinion, the best team ever.
I don't know, man. Fucking Jim Ross and Vince McMahon. It's kind of tough.
See, I don't really like Vince. I can't lie. Oh my god.
What a maneuver! That's Stone Cold Steve Austin getting out of Dodge. Shut up, Vince.
Seriously. Yeah, I never really dug Vince. I mean, Ross, I absolutely love. I think he's amazing.
Oh yeah.
He's probably, in my opinion, second, well, at least third, because I think Bobby Heenan and Monsoon together are sort of tied at number one. So number two, then, or technically number three, would be JR. I love JR too. He's amazing.
JR to me is number one. Number two, this is going way back, but I'd probably say Jesse Ventura.
Really?
Yeah.
See, one thing I liked about him was that he did the tail of the tape, but other than that, I wasn't really a big fan of his.
I like
That was one thing I thought was cool about his matches, is that he made it actually feel like a fight, because he'd be like, oh, he's got you in the Greco-Roman lock right there. That really does a toll on your quadribiceps-lateral bifurcated balls. And it's like, oh, yeah, I bet it does. Yeah, you're totally right, Jesse. You got me. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but he's probably right. He sounds right.
Quadrilateral fucking shit and balls.
Look it up. It's right next to your fucking taint.
It's between your taint and your quads.
But then it'd be like, 23-inch wrist, 80-inch cock, like you go through like the whole list of, the specs of the dude, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but I mean, he also kind of started being like that heel commentator, which I always kind of dug, because like you never really like hated the commentators before that. When he started doing it, you're like, man, this guy's a fucking asshole. What the hell's wrong with him?
You know who was absolutely horrible though was Lord Alfred Hayes.
No, did not remember him.
Oh my God! You need to go back and watch some of his shit just to laugh at him. There was was it SummerSlam '92? I think it was when Bret Hart won the Intercontinental Belt for the first time off of Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So okay, they cut to fucking Lord Alfred Hayes, who's in the audience, and he's with Bret's family. You know, like Stu and Helen and a couple brothers and sisters or whatever. Yeah. They're all like in the crowd. Bret makes his way into the audience. He tries to start interviewing Stu, and like he's like, "Mr. Hart, how does it feel to have your son win the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam?" And he puts the mic to him, and then at this point, Bret's like already rejoined fucking his family. Yeah. So Bret starts hugging him, and Stu's like, and then he moves away from the mic and like starts hugging Bret, and Alfred had no idea what to do. So he's like, "All right, well, back to you, folks." It's like, you fucking idiot! Like, pay attention. He didn't know anything about wrestling. He was just, he was so obnoxious.
Oh, I'm trying to remember, man. Fucking, there was a backstage interviewer, Todd Pettengill. You remember him?
Yeah.
The reason I really remember him though was because he was a DJ in New York, New Jersey on there was some radio station. I can't remember what it was. But they always did. What was it? WPLJ in New York. Huh. And the reason I remember them was because they would always do these quote-unquote phone scams. Like, we prank called you. And it was... They were horrendous. Holy shit.
Well, it's Todd Pettengill, so I imagine they're like, your refrigerator's running.
Yeah, pretty much the equivalent of that.
Yeah. There was another dude, Sean Mooney, who wasn't with WWF very long, but he was there for that infamous Survivor Series with the fucking gobbledygooker. And he later went on, like, I was watching the news one day, and all of a sudden it came up, and it was fucking Sean Mooney, and I'm like, holy shit, is that, like, Sean Mooney? Like, Survivor Series Sean Mooney? And I'm like, that is Sean Mooney. Like, holy fuck, he's doing weather now. Like, man, you got nothing to do with your life, huh? That WWF thing really didn't pay off for you, did it?
I'm telling you, man, fucking, I don't know when I should just start giving up on WWE. I really don't. Because, I mean, what they're doing right now, like with Roman Reigns, just shoving him down people's throats, it sucks. To me, it's like, it's like, let's say you go to a place you want to get some ice cream, and you're like, you know, can I have a scoop of chocolate? And they're like, well, no, you don't want chocolate, you want strawberry. And they start trying to hand you strawberry. You're like, no, I don't want strawberry. I want fucking chocolate. No, you don't. You don't know what you want. You want strawberry. And it keeps going on for fucking eons. And you're just like, no fucking strawberry. I want fucking chocolate. To the point where they're tilting your head back going, no, you want strawberry, and cramming it down your fucking throat.
They got you hooked up with like the fucking Clockwork Orange thing, only like for your mouth. So It's like held open, so you have to fucking eat.
Yeah, like, you will love Roman Reigns. It's like, fucking no.
Well, unfortunately for you, sir, Strawberry has retired now. That's kind of a big problem. That's one thing I was going to ask you about, is how you feel about the whole Daniel Bryan thing.
I mean, yeah, it sucks because, I mean, there's a guy that's, you know, that was passionate about the business, that loved doing what he did. But, I mean, when you have, you know, he said there were like 10 documented concussions, you know, and they all kind of caught up with him. You know, chances are
it's a lot.
The chances are there's even more, but
oh yeah.
But you know, it's one of those things, like, I don't like it, yeah, obviously, but I fully understand.
Yeah, you can't fault the guy.
I can't fault the guy, but I do feel incredibly fucking bad for the guy.
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, it's sort of, I feel almost, I mean, I wasn't really, I don't keep up with the modern product, so I'm not really a big Daniel Bryan fan, to be honest. But I imagine it feels for people who are fans of the product now the way it felt for me when Edge retired. Because I was a pretty big, not like a huge Edge fan, but I really dug his work, and I thought he was a great worker, and he was obviously very passionate about the business. I didn't follow him up until his later stuff, like into 2008, 2009, whenever he did retire. But he was a great worker, and so for him to have to come out and retire, I forget what his reason was. I think it was his back.
No, it was it was a neck thing. He he
Oh,
pretty much had like the same surgery that that Austin had. Like he had
okay.
like he had parts of his neck fused together. So
Yeah. So I mean, when he was done at a pretty early age too. I mean, not as early as Daniel Bryan, I don't think, but it was still like, holy shit, fucking Edge retiring already.
no,
Like,
I think he was about the
he was
same
just another
age.
guy you expected to have a lot more matches.
I think he was about the same age, like the 34, 35 ish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just, I mean, I know a lot of guys tend to start slowing down at that point, but you expect them to have like a couple more matches, maybe a couple more pay-per-views in them. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just too bad.
it is, man. It really is. But you know, it's one of those things like injuries, like you understand at least.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's better that than potentially creating another Benoit. You
Yeah.
know, when you
Yeah.
look at it that way.
Yeah. Obviously.
So it's kind of hard to say to really bitch about.
Yeah.
But I mean, the WWE really needs to do something because I don't keep up with the product, but I listen to podcasts about the product, and from what I understand, their roster is fucked right now. Randy Orton is out, Daniel Bryan just retired, John Cena is hurt. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have a very deep roster right now. So they need to figure something out. So one of the commentaries I listened to was saying like they need to do a heel turn or something, like turn Roman Reigns heel so that they don't keep shoving him down people's throats, make him a fucking bad guy so at least they're booing him for a fucking reason.
I mean,
Like,
that's
do something.
That's the thing, though. He's pretty much being like groomed to be the new John Cena, like the guy that the hero that never loses, the Superman. And it's like, yeah, guys, stop.
Yeah. I like what Cornette says about. I don't know if you know this, but Cornette actually trained John Cena down in, or helped to train John Cena.
Yeah, in
And
OVW.
he had him as a heel down in OVW, and he said that he loves John Cena. That Cena's a great worker. He was great as a heel. He was actually very, very talented, and that people give Cena a lot of shit, but it's not his fault that they book him like Superman. That's just how WWF books him. So he gets a lot of shit, but it's not his fault. He's getting
Yeah.
paid to do what he gets paid to do. So I mean,
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, man. Like I met John Cena once, total nice guy, but you know, it's that's the thing. Just hate how he's booked, like the guy that never fucking loses.
yeah.
You know, and
Even Bret Hart lost a bunch of matches.
yeah, like Bret Hart lost a bunch of matches. Austin lost a bunch of matches. You know, Edge lost a lot of matches.
Have them lose in controversial fashion and shit, you know? Like, if you really don't want him to lose, at least have him lose in controversial fashion where, like, the heel, you know, puts his boots up on the rope and gets the 3 count when the ref doesn't see it. Or, like, I don't know, a manager. Like, they don't even have managers anymore. That's something else I heard a podcast about, is how there's really no managers in wrestling anymore and how that's kind of shitty.
There really aren't, other than, like, I can only speak for, like, WWE because it's the only one that I watch, but other than Paul Heyman, there really aren't any managers anymore. But
like divas don't really serve as managers either. They're sort of their own separate like women's wrestling division, and that's great. That's perfect. That's cool. But it's just interesting to see there's no managers anymore because it kind of makes it a little bit harder to do like a schmoz ending. Because at least with a manager, you know, they could interfere or something or cause some shenanigans.
Well, I mean, Ric Flair, I guess technically, you know, fills that slot.
Yeah, he does now.
Woo!
Woo!
My
daughter's the champion. Woo!
Yeah, that's the thing about Ric Flair, man. Like, my buddy Chris and I, we get into this argument all the time. Like, I'm just like, look, on the mic, Ric Flair is pretty much untouchable. Like, he is fucking damn good. If you go back and watch his old promos, he's fucking amazing. In the ring, though,
yeah.
I was never really impressed with him other than the Flair flop. Like, what? Watch, he's in the corner. Wait, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Ah, Flair flop.
I think what Corny said about him is that he was never the greatest wrestler. He was never the greatest on the mic, but he was the best at all of those things combined. Like he was the best overall package of a wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, like he was, like the way I'm trying to word this out here is, I think like Chris Jericho kind of took a page out of his book and said, like, you know, okay, I may not be the greatest wrestler in the company. He even admits, like, he was always fucking jealous of how good Lance Storm was.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, I may not be the best wrestler in this place, but I will definitely be the loudest personality. And shit, it fucking worked.
Yeah.